It's about that time.
City News, City News.
What's happening in your city?
City News, City News. City News, City News.
You got love for your city?
City News, City News.
City Views.
City Views.
City Views.
City News, City News. City Views.
City Views.
City News, City News.
City Views. City Views.
City Views, City Views.
City Views. City Views.
City Views, City Views. City Views, City Views. City Views.
City Views. City Views.
City Views, City Views.
City Views.
City Views, City Views.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. What's going on? Can you guys?
I don't know, but this guy over here just started laughing. Put a big
I
smile on
can't
my
believe
face.
this. You know,
Although it's going to make me cough. I've got the ragweed going on.
we're trying to run a serious show here, and you guys are acting like juvenile
Hey, I'm
delinquents.
just sitting here. I'm just
You
sitting
know?
here.
Come on, get it together, gang.
There's aim up here.
Hey, Doug. Uh-oh. Weebo doesn't even know what time it is.
It's about that time.
Every day. Oh no, everybody's getting into the act now. Everybody wants to be a star. Okay. Nonetheless, welcome to another episode of City Views. My name is Jacques Williams, your host, and with me here on this journey into the community are my two most capable co-hosts, the one and only, on my right, the lovely and talented Miss Melissa Crofts,
Hello, everybody.
and the equally as talented but not so beautiful, the one and only Mr. Wilbert Bowles, also known as Weebo.
I'm here, John. I can take it, John. I'm beautiful right here.
Oh, I think you're beautiful. I think he's beautiful.
Okay, yeah, all right. I guess.
I'm here.
I guess. Just like the great song from who was that? Ray Stevens. Everything is beautiful in its
Everything's
own
beautiful.
way.
Yeah.
Aw, exactly.
So Weebo is beautiful tonight.
Yeah.
All
thank
right. And as always, we want to take this opportunity to thank our very kind and generous sponsor, Steve Toth and Toth Insurance Agency,
Absolutely.
for everything
Thank
that
you,
they do
Toth
for us
Insurance.
here at City
You
Views.
the man, Steve.
On East Main Street, here in Torrington.
That's right.
Yep.
On East Main Street, doing the business.
It's important
He's busy.
to think about your insurance, and there are things that you don't even realize that you might need. So contacting any of the agents there at Toth Insurance would be a wise thing to find out. They would help you answer your insurance needs there. So
And it's
That'd
about
be a
that
good
time
call.
of the year too.
Yeah, it is.
So definitely, if you have any insurance questions or insurance needs, we highly recommend
Yeah.
Steve Toth and Toth Insurance Agency.
Mm-hmm.
Right on. Also, big shout outs tonight to Catherine Pezzi.
Oh, my
for
goodness.
the wonderful set design this evening. As always,
Beautiful.
Thanks,
Catherine
Beautiful.
making sure that City Views is looking good.
Good.
And we can't thank her enough
Yeah.
for her contributions to the show.
Hi,
The
Bill.
heart and soul. The heart and soul.
Heart and soul, no doubt about it. And as always, we want to thank Dan, our video man,
Yeah, the man.
Dan the man.
Dan the man.
Always glad to have Dan behind the scenes. He's great.
That's
Great
right.
guy.
Yep. And our newest member on board with us, Tracy Rowe, our new.
All right, Tracy.
Oh,
Website
absolutely.
developer.
Tracy's phenomenal.
Yep.
Tracy.
She's doing a good job of doing our internet stuff that we don't really know how to do. You know, I'm
We're
good a
learning.
little bit,
We learned.
but she knows those background things and the nuances and how to make everything behind the scenes work. Where
Definitely.
we're more up front in front of the scenes. She's helping us get behind the scenes taken care of.
Yep. Yep. Which brings us to kind of a somber note this evening,
Yes.
because we definitely want to send our deepest sympathies and condolences to Pam Pinto and the Pinto family in
bless
the
you,
loss of their mother. Just simply a tragic situation
Very sad.
that happened. And if any of our regular viewers have been able to check out the show when Pam's been on, you know that she's raising awareness for the
Benzodiazepine.
benzodiazepine.
Say that 10 times real fast.
Yes, I've tried it, and I've also bit my tongue.
Yes, the benzodiazepine awareness. I'm sure that if you find Act Natural on Facebook or their website, you can very easily access Pam Pinto regarding that. I'm sure that she'd be very happy to listen to your concerns, maybe answer any questions that you might have, and steer you in the right direction as far as information to help you learn more about the impact of benzodiazepines. So,
Yeah, it's pretty. It's rough. It's rough.
yeah.
So, and we also want to send a shout out to Maureen Herbert, and we want to
Mo, yep.
Mo. We love Mo, the founder of Friendly Hands Food Bank.
Yep.
She's been there, I think, going on 30 years,
Yeah, a long time.
and just she's one of those people that definitely is the definition of what community is all about. Giving selflessly. It's one thing when you do something once or twice a year for someone or something like that, which I'm not disparaging at all, but it's great when you do that. But when you're consistently out there for years and decades, working hard to make sure that the needs of the community are met, then
Yeah, I went to visit her. She in good spirit. So
That's
we got her
great.
in prayer, yeah.
that's great to
Oh,
know.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we definitely want to send her the best, our warmest, heartfelt wishes from the staff and cast here at City Views.
Definitely.
So,
Our condolences, sincerely.
and so many things going on in Torrington.
Yes.
And I do want to bring up why we're wearing these.
Yeah, I don't know if people are noticing that we all have our little pink ribbons on. A lot of people are aware that October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And I think it would be very hard to find a human being on this planet that has not been affected by breast cancer, that there hasn't been someone in your life somewhere along the way that has been affected that way. This month we are honoring all of our friends and loved ones who have had that challenge in their life, and we pray for them deeply. And on top of that, I know that Kath, who's here with us, that's something that she has faced in her life, and it's something that she has spoken strongly about. And we here at the cast of City Views just want her to know how much we support her and her struggles with this, and how much we love you.
Took the words right out of my mouth.
Aww.
And she got Bill supporting it too.
Yeah.
Bill's right there.
It's a family affair.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
all
on top
about-
of that, we need to throw out some reminders.
Yes.
Because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, get your mammograms. Ladies, get your mammograms. Gentlemen, remind your loved ladies in your life to get their mammograms as well. On top of that, being Breast Month, I am back to doing my bra drive. I am going to be collecting bras again for Sankiewicz. And if anybody has any extra bras, please send them my way. We will put that information on our Facebook page so that you can contact me and let me know if you have bras to send. Last time we did this, we had bras come from Michigan.
Wow.
So they came that far
Good,
for this.
good.
Yeah. So being this month, I just thought that this would be a great month to start that, because that also is the time that our homeless is the hardest time for them now that it's starting to get cold. So in one way that we can help them is help these ladies get some wonderful bras that they can wear.
Absolutely, absolutely. We also want to take this opportunity to ask for your help. We are starting our City Views YouTube channel, and you can check that out at City Views-CT. we need 1,000 subscribers so that we can start streaming the show live. Not everybody is around on Tuesday nights at 7:30. We wish they were, but they're not. So in an effort to make sure that we're accommodating you and getting you the latest and the best information on what's going on here in our city and in the region, we want to offer this other opportunity for you so you can continue to support the show. So once again, check that out. Our YouTube channel, City Views CT, subscribe and help us hit 1,000. Unfortunately tonight, we had I know you guys are kind of wondering, Jacques is usually late, but he's running extra late tonight. What's up? I had an issue with our printer, so I couldn't print up our segments on all things Torrington or our segment on music and politics, the blog. So unfortunately, we're going to have to maybe put that off till next week.
Well, it happens to the best of us. And
It does. It does.
I've been fighting with a printer for almost a year now. It says that there's paper in there, and there's no paper in there.
It's the ghost in the machine, as it were, right?
Don't know, a ghost of paper. Paper ghost.
So, guys, I got to be honest with you. I'm so excited tonight for our guest on the show.
Me too. Me too.
Susan Lubomski, the superintendent of schools for Torrington.
How you pronounce the last name?
I call it. How can you question me on that? How can you question me on that?
We're going to have her sitting here next to me shortly, and she will tell us how to pronounce it.
I know how to pronounce. I pronounced it correctly.
Did you?
Of course I
How do you
did.
pronounce it then?
Lubomski.
Lubomski.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
I like that.
Close
name.
enough.
She has a big job.
Of course she does.
Oh my goodness.
But she has a cool last name too.
Well, I'm very impressed with her all around. I'm very excited to have her on the show,
Absolutely.
and I'm excited for our viewers to be able to hear what she has to say.
It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to that.
Definitely.
So we're going to prepare for a break and look forward to Michelle calling in with what's cooking. And we'll check that out. And then we'll be checking out our special guest for the evening. How's that sound, gang?
Excellent.
All right,
Sounds great.
ready to go.
Okay. You guys stay tuned. Call all your friends and neighbors and tell them to catch it while it's hot. Right here on your local cable access Altice Channel 5. It's City Views. We'll be right back.
Really? Buzz, what's up, man? You left some leaves burning out here.
Yeah, I just just came in just for a second.
Come on, man. If it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. You could torch the whole neighborhood.
It's a good point there, Smokey.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome to my block party. Glad you can make it.
The only triple doubles you get come with fries.
Last time you blocked someone, you were online.
I can do this all day. Your moves are just gay.
Using gay to mean dumb or stupid, not cool.
Not cool.
Not in my house, not anywhere. It's not creative, it's offensive to gay people. And you're better than that.
Learning how to kickflip 6 stairs takes determination. So will getting into college. I've got what it takes. So do you.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. Despite the antics of my co-host here, the show will go on. My goodness. I mean, if anybody has any recommendations on how I can handle these two, please let me know.
Please.
Okay?
Just bring me some chicken. I'd be happy.
Oh, boy.
He He needs the chicken bites. I need the brownie bites.
Oh my goodness.
Catherine brought brownie bites.
You guys got to
Tonight.
watch it because you never know. We might, after this show, have a box of Kentucky Fried Chicken right out there. Because that's how the people in Torrington are, man.
Yeah.
You never can tell.
If a box
Surprise.
of Kentucky KFC arrived here magically,
I'd be in my glory.
You two would be fighting over it, wouldn't you?
if popcorn shrimp from Popeyes happened to magically arrive,
We would be fighting over that.
there would be no fighting because I would be the winner before the fight even began.
We'll see.
Wow.
If y'all want to see some real live reality TV, bring us a box of Popeye's chicken right now, okay? It's going to get real up in here.
Rice and beans.
Ooh.
Now, if you guys can, take it down a notch, we do have a guest
now that I'm
here.
hungry.
We should act with decorum, okay? Now, Michelle's calling in. Is that Michelle calling into the show?
It's probably her now.
That might be. Well,
Well, let's introduce our guest.
Well, I think we should. Ladies and gentlemen, Susan Lubomski, the superintendent of the school district of Torrington. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you, really
So
are.
happy to have you on the
because,
Thanks.
and sometimes we have guests on the show and it's like, I don't think an hour is going to really get it all. And I feel like tonight might be one of those shows.
Absolutely.
Because there's so many good things happening within the Torrington School District. And at this particular time, now that your position has been confirmed, and now that you're on full board, I think you bring a type of perspective to the board that will have an effect for years to come, because we're right at that kind of pivotal situation where different models of education are starting to be looked at. And you're on top of that innovation or that innovative aspect of education. Can you talk to our audience a little bit about your philosophical perspective on education and what attributes you bring to the position?
Well, I've been in Torrington for 15 years. I started as the principal of Forbes School, and I love that position, and that's really when I fell in love with the community. And so then I moved into the director of curriculum, then I became the assistant superintendent, and so here I am.
Natural.
Yeah, so it evolved over time, and I learned more and more about the district and more about the town. But I think what's most important, what I love about Torrington is our diversity. I think that's also our strength. I saw that at Forbes, and really it was a microcosm of the town. And I think our students are very prepared to move into the world because the world is diverse. We have to be real about what is happening in the world. The world is changing. And just to acknowledge that and to celebrate that, I think is very important.
Well, it's interesting. You and I were just touching on this, and there's a new term in the world today called multiculturalism, which I guess takes diversity to the next level. And in our schools today, multiculturalism is beginning to be a daily occurrence. And so I would love to hear you speak further on the matter.
Sure. So I think that our students are tolerant of one another. I think they're respectful of one another. I think they're very aware of the community. I was talking to Mrs. Lidversis. Robin Lidversis is the principal at Torrington High School. And one of our biggest clubs is the Interact Club, and it's really about community service, really knowing your community, really helping, really working with each other with respect, with regard to different backgrounds and where people are coming from, different viewpoints. You don't always get things the way you want, and you can't necessarily act the way some of our politicians do out in Washington. So we teach them that you may not always get your way, but sometimes you have to agree to disagree. And we really see that at Torrington High School and at all of our schools, but really they are going to be our voters in the next few years, and we want to truly prepare them for the world.
And what are some of the ways that in this day and age that you are able to lead your students to understanding this more diverse and multicultural world that we've come into. There are so many differences growing up today that we didn't have as much back in when we were growing up. What are some of the tactics and the ways that you help your students with this?
I think that they have, at many of the elementary schools, we're really doing a respect for self and others. At Southwest, they have care for self and others. That's actually their motto. And I think that is reflected at all our schools, even though they don't necessarily have that motto. But that whole piece of, you know, I'm going to be respectful, I'm going to act with kindness, I'm going to be courteous, I'm going to be appreciative. And throughout the year at the various schools, we have celebrations. There's actually walls at each one of the schools where the students can, and the staff, can put up Post-its where they can appreciate each other and appreciate each other's differences.
I love that.
And the things that they really love and care, appreciate in one another. And I think that builds a community. Because you may see something in someone else that you necessarily haven't experienced, or you don't have that talent but someone else does.
Absolutely.
Or someone else helped you out and you didn't get a chance to thank them. Now they're famous on this wall of appreciation.
So you mentioned elementary school. So that's a very young age to start talking about differences and that sort of thing. So one would very much encourage to start at a younger age?
Yes, I think that's very, very important because we want to get that respect, we want to get those skills, we want to get that appreciation from a very young age. Because then it just grows. And I think that's why we have the Interact Club that's bursting at its seams, where they really want to do activities where they're appreciating each other and our community. We also have been recognized for unified sports, both at the middle school and the high school. So appreciating students with differences, different abilities. And so it may be that students don't have as many abilities physically, but they help and support each other.
And that is, I'm glad that you brought that up, because that's another part of diversity and multiculturalism, and where people are different than the average.
Right. And just that appreciation. When we had the NEASC team visit in last May.
Which team?
The NEASC, that's an accreditation team. The high school is going through their accreditation. And it was wonderful to have them come and really say, you know what strikes us is your students are so kind to one another and so appreciative of what their teachers are doing and sharing with them. And you have built a wonderful community and culture.
That's beautiful.
Let's take a quick break and talk to Michelle and see what's cooking.
Absolutely.
Good evening, Michelle. What's cooking?
Good evening. Dinner, actually.
We'll be right over.
Oh, some chicken.
Oh, wait, I still have a half hour, so
well, Michelle, thank you for calling in. It's nice to hear from you.
And hello, everybody. Nice to
Hi, Michelle.
speak
Thanks for
with you all
calling.
this evening. Hi, Sue.
Hi, Michelle. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks.
Now, Michelle, people that are checking out the show wanted me to ask you a couple of questions.
Sure.
So I thought that we would take this time, now that we're in the process of launching our new YouTube channel and the website, where viewers of the show can now go to those pages to ask questions for the show as well. So we're definitely looking forward to a little more engagement on this segment. But one of the questions that I was directed to ask you is, what goes on between sessions, and what are your priorities in regards to developing initiatives during those times?
So from the time that we're technically or formally out of session in June to the time we go back in February, like those kinds of times, or the times that we're just not in meetings in Hartford and things like that?
Well, kind of the general sessions, you know, what?
The long session and short session kind of thing.
Yes.
So in the off time, so obviously we know it's supposed to be a part-time legislature. I choose to do this full-time. I think that gives the residents of Torrington and the 65th district, a full-time representative. And what that does is that puts me everywhere. Like today, we were fortunate enough to have the governor in town to showcase some of the great things that are happening here, and it's Manufacturing Month. So we ended our stop today at Franklin Products. We started with a small, intimate lunch at Sawyer's, walked up to the new social house, then went to 5 Points Art Gallery, then walked up and visited our fire department and the like, and then stopped by and visited a few people who are out. So it's things like that. It's visiting the senior center, it's visiting schools, it's visiting nursing homes, and then it's those regular meetings that just because we're not in formal session, I'm still responsible for a variety of different committees. So I chair the Primary Care Medical Home Committee. I am on the Medicaid Managed Care Committee. Those meet monthly. At the same time, we're also still working on other meetings and initiatives. So tomorrow I'll be in Hartford most of the day, and then it just depends on the scheduling, from there. When you have people that not only statewide but nationally that are looking to push initiatives, they try to meet with us in the off sessions to be ready for the session that's coming up. And that goes for not only lobbyists, but that's also for residents as well. And at the same time, it's about filling those needs that people have issues with. I'm working on some health insurance issues for some residents. I'm working on some unemployment issues. We're working on street issues, school issues. You name it, our phones don't stop regardless of the topic.
Now, a question I would have for you, when you're getting these requests on these with these different issues, what's the process to making sure that they get to the right committees?
So it depends on the issue, and some issues don't need to go to a committee. Some issues need to go directly to a department. Obviously I have an unemployment issue that I'm dealing with. It's a specific constituent, and that will go straight to, our Department of Labor. If we have issues with roads, that would go to the Department of Transportation. If we have health issues, it would go to Department of Public Health. So it doesn't necessarily have to go to a committee. It could go directly to a department so we can rectify things without having to put extra things into legislation.
I see. Now, another question that I was asked to talk to you about is when you're obviously our state representative, but where is that line drawn between your work in regards to city issues and state issues?
Well, I guess that depends on what those issues are. So we traditionally, are, like if the city needs help with things, they call. If education needs help with things, they call. At the same time, it would just depend on what those issues are. That's a very broad scope. Like we were fortunate enough to see Vinny's ribbon cut on Monday, and Vinny's called me, before he bought the property and asked me for some help and some assistance. So it just depends on what the topics and the issues are to what our involvement would be in. So there's not one specific scope, one specific line. I think there's a lot of gray area depending on the needs and the requests.
Now, do any responsibilities go to funding issues for the city?
Well, obviously, we get municipal aid. We get education dollars. So my job would be to ensure that we fight to get as much money as we can and make sure that people that are looking to cut budgets understand the impact of what those cuts would be.
Now,
and then if there's grants and other other opportunities, that would go back and forth too. Like some grants we have the ability to write letters in support. Others we have to stay very clear of in fear of swaying a decision. So it just depends on what those needs or requests are, what the guidelines are, and who's asking for our help. And we also, I just got done writing letters of recommendation for graduate school, for military, and things like that. So we do things like that as well.
Very cool. Michelle, as always, thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
We appreciate it, and we look forward every week to hearing from you because you just make our day.
Oh, you're all too kind. Well, thank you so much, and be careful out there. The weather the next 48 hours doesn't look so good.
Oh, thanks for the warning.
All right, you guys have a wonderful night.
You
Thank
too.
you
Thanks,
so much.
Michelle.
Bye, Michelle.
Thanks, Michelle. We'll
for
talk to you
calling.
soon.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
She has been very helpful even with our district in terms of early childhood education and other grants and programs. So we really appreciate her.
Well, I think we all of us who know Michelle understand, the huge heart that she has and how dedicated she is to helping to provide opportunities for the residents in her district. And I think that it says a lot to people. You might disagree with them on policy issues, but I think it comes down to people that have what I call IE, emotional integrity, to represent us in a way that we have a sense of trust and credibility in what they're doing. So I think that's important. We do have another call here this evening. I think it looks like Ray. Let's see what Ray has to say.
Ray's back.
Good evening, Ray.
Good evening. How are you?
It's about time you called where we could actually have a conversation.
He's back.
Well, I did call in last week, but I turned my TV on and all I seen was just nothing there. And the following week, I got checked on City Views, and you were there. But I called in late, and it was pre-recorded from last week. So when you had the young lady in there from the city, there what's her name? Forget her name now, but she goes to the city council meetings the same as I do, and she says that Ray was going to call after I got done talking. So I wanted to call, but it was the week before, and I got there, and I didn't get through, I guess, and so. Well,
as they say, there's no time like the moment. So it's great to have you on with us this evening.
Right. I'm only going to take a little short of your time. This is going to be about comments. I listened to the comments that were made last week on the City Views, and I heard your famous What's Cooking talking, and she talked about Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, yeah. Talking to Kim Jong-un.
Yeah, about the basketball and China or this and that, and about what's going on about the sports and this and that. And I still think that she turns me like a little bit like Dennis Rodman too. I think.
I don't think they look anything alike, but
well, no, they don't look alike, but I think she has the same. She has the same go for her as Dennis Rodman. I mean, he's not there all the way neither, but I think she's not neither.
Okay.
But like I say, I think I just heard her talk just now, and same. I still state when she's in Hartford, she's a puppet on a string, and I don't think she does much for Torrington, but she talks a good game. She talks pretty good about what's going on, this and that, but I don't think she doesn't have the drive anymore.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so. But it's good to listen to her talk because, like I say, she talks sometimes like a little like Dennis Rodman, and sometimes even maybe I talk a little bit like Dennis Rodman. But I mean, it's still battling back and forth.
I would say you're more. I wouldn't say Dennis Rodman. I would be more like I don't know, Tim Conway maybe.
Tim Conway. Well, I don't know. I get a lot of things saying I don't get much respect. That guy.
Oh, Rodney Dangerfield. Okay, all right, yeah, all right.
I'm a little bit like Roger Dangerfield. I don't get much respect.
Well, we respect you, Ray, and we appreciate you calling into the show.
But I really missed talking last week. But I know she was looking for Ray last week.
Yeah, she was.
Yeah.
But I'm sure she'll see you at next Monday's city council meeting.
Oh, definitely. But I want to say one thing about the education lady that's there.
Yes.
Michelle. I think she's doing a wonderful job.
This is Susan here tonight.
Susan.
Yes.
Susan, yeah?
Yes. We agree.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. I've been to a few council meetings with her there, and I've heard about her.
Yeah.
I got a lot of disagreements about what the city has to say, but there's nothing much you can do about it.
Well, we can, we can have those discussions and have those conversations and hopefully come up with some solutions that will be feasible and implemented into policy.
Yeah, not only that, you're looking pretty sharp there tonight, my man.
Flattery will get you. Flattery will get you everywhere.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ray.
So,
we
hey,
appreciate it.
It was nice talking to you, and like I say, it's always nice to hear Michelle Cook talking on there because I'm going to call in every night, every Tuesday night.
Well, you know, Ray, I don't necessarily agree with your assessment of Michelle. However, you are free to express your views here. So.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah.
All right.
All right. All right.
And give that significant other a huge blessing on our part for having for having the intestinal fortitude.
Okay, I will very much.
All right, Ray.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Ray.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Good night now. I like to keep you laughing, buddy.
You do.
All right, buddy. Talk to you later.
Okay, have a good one. So, how about we take a quick break, and then we come back and finish our discussion with Susan. How's that sound, Doug? You guys stay tuned, and we're going to be right back with more City Views right after this.
Packers, Viking, Packers, Viking, Viking.
Red state, blue state, vegan.
Carnivore.
We come from different places.
Uptown. Downtown.
Optimist.
We come to different conclusions.
Half empty.
Half full.
But when we live united, we create real, lasting change in the building blocks of life. The education, income, and health of our communities,
Live
our families,
united.
even the person next to us.
Live united.
Real change won't happen without you. So give, advocate, volunteer, live united. Sign up at liveunited.org.
The pain will not control us. It will never break us, define us, or keep us still. Because arthritis can't beat us if we beat it first. In the fight against arthritis, you need a weapon. What's yours? Visit the Arthritis Foundation at fightarthritispain.org.
Welcome to Fogels.
Beautiful, isn't it?
You expect options everywhere else. Why not with your medical treatment? Talk with your doctor to explore all your options and find what's right for you. Visit ahrq.gov.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. And I do apologize for my co-hosts this evening. They are out of control. They have no decorum.
Plenty of decorum.
We're working on their disposition. So
I've got disposition.
We will keep you updated on their development as we go. Nonetheless, the better part of the show tonight is sitting right here.
Right there.
I will agree with that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Our lovely superintendent of the school system here in Torrington, Connecticut, Miss Susan Lubomski. And Susan, in our conversation a little earlier, one of the things that we had an opportunity to touch on was regionalization and how the state, they're looking for more innovative ways to give more autonomy to districts. And although that may not be an alternative or an option here in Torrington, share with our audience a little bit about your perspectives on that.
Well, I think originally when the governor had talked about regionalization, there's 169 districts, and so really, I think at this point, he's boiled it down to, can we find some economies? Can we find some ways to really share services? And I think that's very important because we tend to be little islands unto ourselves, which is not good. So for us in this region, we are really looking to our RESC, which is our Educational Service Center, which is Ed Advance. And they've done a great job trying to work with those of us in Litchfield's Hills and the Northwest corner to really look at special ed services and other services, professional development that they can provide, which really at a cost savings. Right now, case in point, we are using eSchool as our alternative program, and it's a wonderful opportunity for Ed Advance to run that program, not only for Torrington but for the other districts in the area. Certainly for Torrington, it cuts our transportation costs, and we are able to have our students in our neighborhood, so it really makes a huge difference. So, and I also think it strengthens all of us when we're sharing those ideas and we're working together. And I think that was the governor's original intent as well. And certainly our new commissioner is echoing that. If we can work together and really share ideas and services, then we're stronger. We're stronger as a state.
Absolutely.
So I think that's very positive.
Absolutely. Now, what's your philosophical position on, because now that you're superintendent, you have more of a macro perspective of the school district. Now, compare that to your time as a curriculum coordinator. What have those experiences brought to you in terms of continuing developing the educational system here in Torrington?
I didn't realize at the time how important those pieces would be as director of curriculum, as the assistant superintendent. It certainly exposed me to all the different departments and the working in the district, but the biggest piece is now I'm the CEO. It's all, it really is all my responsibility. And you certainly feel that in a way that I didn't, even though I was on 24/7 as the assistant soup, as a superintendent, it's even more so because you really want to ensure that the dreams and the vision and students' potentials are realized. And so I take that responsibility so seriously. I love that song, Million Dreams by Pink, that's out there now. And I know it's a little old, but I love that song because the dreams of the district do keep me awake at night. Not in a bad way, but in a way of looking forward and what we can be. And I think, as you said at the very beginning, we're poised to really move into fabulous directions with the district. We have our interim principal, Robin Lidversus, who has been a part of the district for a number of years as a teacher, as an alternative program coordinator, as just playing so many different roles, being pivotal in the Manufacturing Coalition. She was cited in Industry Week, the last issue, for her work on bringing manufacturing into the high school. We have fabulous leaders at all our schools that are really, really wanting to move forward and offer students opportunities, particularly at the secondary. You sat in on our visioning at the beginning of September, and we were really looking to find solutions with community partners, with folks like yourself who are so invested in Torrington, the hospital, businesses. We want to offer career pathways and college pathways for students in ways that and offerings that we've never had before. So it's so important that students are able to explore their interests and not wait till you're a junior or senior in high school and then say, oh, I'm not sure what I want to do with the rest of my life. So if they have that exposure in 7th and 8th grade and they really get to explore those pieces, I think that's really pivotal. And in terms of the manufacturing, Torrington's a great place. And
It is.
manufacturing is not what it was way back when. So I know my husband works in manufacturing, and he's had opportunities to travel all over the world and really continue to learn and grow. And that's what we want to tell our students too, that this is a growth opportunity. Dymax has talked to our students, Altec. And tomorrow ONG is coming to talk with our students at the high school as well. Yes, so we are really talking with our students about all kinds of opportunities within their own town, because we want our students to either get jobs and have their families here, or have college and then come back and have their careers here, and to revitalize Torrington, because it is such a beautiful town.
Now, what I like about your approach is it's not it's not necessarily rooted in educational dogma. It's rooted in holistic, universal innovation. And that was the one thing that I was impressed with at the Vision session. The anecdotal remedies that are coming to the surface now for education. Because we got to be honest in terms of transitioning our educational system to the 21st century.
Yes.
There's so many different needs that kids have now. We can't line kids up in rows, you know, and expect that everyone is going to sit there like that for 8 hours. I have a question, you know?
Right.
And what that vision session was very on top of illustrating was that the physical environment in which kids are learning in can be so evolutionary to the educational process.
Well, just look at the, Montessori learning. I mean, that's completely geared around towards, the individual process and how the individual learns. And the whole environment is completely different from the rows that you're sat in. So
absolutely. And the other thing that impressed me about you, Sue, because you understand that education may have walls that need to be knocked down so you can build bridges to the community. And kids need to know that they are a part of that community. So I think your approach helps in that regard, because now children don't have to feel like they're so isolated and that they can't reach out, and that there is not someone there in the community that can help them in whatever that way needs to happen. So I think the old adage, it takes a village to raise a child.
Absolutely.
I think in this case it just takes a micropolitan.
Absolutely.
I like that, Doc. It takes a micropolitan. Brilliant.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you have to, I think it's very necessary to merge the different sectors of the community that can help for more robust collaborations. And I think that's what you're gearing up here with these associations and affiliations on the corporate and manufacturing level. But another thing that I definitely wanted to discuss with you is something that we're going to be doing here on City Views. Melissa is going to be doing our field reporting on the Wolcott School vocational program. And one of the things that we want to emphasize in that segment that we'll be doing is that there are more options for students today than just college.
Right, absolutely.
Right. And I think Torrington might be in a unique position where it can start developing some of those community type roots to retain more young people, not only to invest in their community, but to live, work, and grow in their community.
And the trades. The
Yes.
trades are a noble cause.
Yeah, definitely.
Wonderful cause.
So I was wondering if you might be able to talk a little bit about how you view vocational education going forward within the district.
I think it's so important. We are so very fortunate in Joanne Ryan, who runs our chamber. She has been phenomenal. She's offered all kinds of opportunities to our students. We have written a grant with Northwest Chamber, and they are offering internships to our students so they can really go out and they can explore what their interests are. And so it goes back to what I was saying before. If you have that opportunity to go out, to practice, to try, to see, and if you do an internship and it doesn't work out, no harm, no foul. It's okay.
Right.
And then you're more informed at what it narrows down. Okay, I like this, but I don't like this. And it gets you on that path to, okay, this is something that I'm really good at that I didn't even realize, or what I'd really like to pursue. So it gives students that opportunity, and we so appreciate the Chamber for all
Absolutely.
that they're such great partners with us.
I think we should probably give a shout out to Joanne Ryan,
Yes,
who's
please, and her
appeared
whole
here on the
team.
show
Yes.
many times,
Yep.
and we just had a great opportunity to check out a speaker, Ken Gorbach.
Right. Yes, that was wonderful.
Yes, and
Wow.
his presentation was so pertinent in regards to the educational process and how demographics play such a huge role in not only how you administer your education, but how that's perceived. And the one question that he asked, remember he said he had the corporate execs at the table, and he asked them what the number one question was in their marketing or branding campaigns. And they gave all these answers, and he said, the number one issue is how many people do you have in your market?
Right.
And I'm sure that's an issue with you in regards to how you administer educational services here in the city of Torrington.
Sure.
So I think that was a very timely presentation, and one that helps us to put things in focus in terms of how do we grapple with these changing demographics. They're real.
Absolutely.
And as he so adamantly stated to us, you can't bury your head in the sand and just act like this is all going to go away. The world is going to change whether we like it or not.
That's right.
So you either like it, get used to it, or sit back and gripe and complain. But it ain't going to change nothing. So I think Joanne's contributions to our community, both in the areas of manufacturing and education, can't be understated.
Right.
So,
absolutely.
Definitely. Now, another thing, that aspect of your curriculum development that I was curious about, are you working with the area colleges?
Yes.
What's going on in that realm in terms of educational curriculum development?
We're so very fortunate because we have Northwest Community College right in our backyard. And so we have some students who are actually taking dual credit, so they get high school and college credit at the same time. And let's face it, college is expensive, and any way that we can have students get credits when they're in high school so that they don't have to do it when they are going to college, that makes a huge
Every
difference.
penny helps.
Absolutely. And they're also helping us with certification programs. We're going to grow that even more so that we have that opportunity. We actually have talk about a wonderful community partnership. We have somebody from Altech who actually got her certification so she could teach our students soldering and soldering computer boards. And so it was absolutely phenomenal. So she's teaching one of our classes.
Wow.
So talk about commitment to our youth and how we're moving forward. It touches my heart. It's really beautiful. So we've come full circle in terms of that. And our community college has also offered math and science boot camps. They've offered 21st century skills and a science program that they're doing with our high school students. So it's really been with middle school and high school, but predominantly with the high school. And it's great to have them there because then students can see this is another place where I can go to either get certifications or get go for 2 years and then move on to a different school, or maybe just have my associates and go from there.
Northwestern has been a great school, and it's growing, it's building, it's veterinary tech that they've got going on there. Their whole CNA, that new building that was built, is just phenomenal.
Very exciting.
Now, as we prepare to close for the show this evening, in these last few minutes, can you just touch briefly upon the arts and culture renaissance that's going on in Torrington and the components that has with the educational system?
Well, we're so very fortunate to be here in Torrington. I mean, really, we could be a music, fine arts magnet because truly, with Nutmeg, with the Warner, with our award-winning music program that we have, award-winning band, our fine arts classes and programs that we offer, the ceramics classes, the painting, the drawing, the crafts. We have a music tech program that's just phenomenal. And we have been recognized in so many different ways. Students from other districts come just to take those classes or to participate in those programs. And it's wonderful to have those pieces. So we will continue to grow that. I think the next step for us is to develop our STEM kind of program where the art really becomes a piece of it. Art and engineering, we're looking forward to that because we have a new engineering class this year. And then also enhancing our whole music piece.
Now, can you just tell our audience just what STEAM and STEM means?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Science, technology, engineering, art, and math. And then science, technology, engineering, and math. So.
And I'm not sure, but do you know what happens when you take art out of the earth?
I can't even imagine. It's barren. Right. Yes. Oh, I don't know. But to me, it's that would be heartbreaking.
Well, obviously, me too.
Yes.
But you know what? I do believe Torrington
so funny.
I know.
is in good hands. Okay, you don't have to call her Allstate, but she's right on time.
I'm really great. Yes.
Good job, Chief.
So it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show tonight, and I look forward to actually further having further discussions with you.
Thank you. I would be happy to come back.
Yeah, and the STEM program with the Boy Scouts, you know about the Boy Scout with the STEM program.
Which
that's
has
real
been
big.
wonderful.
Yeah.
They brought their mobile unit, and the kids were so excited. That was amazing. This is the new Boy Scout.
And that's a lot of money they put in there too, millions of dollars. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Well, I think it's
Thank
great,
you so much.
Susan, because you're an example, you're a role model, and you bring the attributes of what the very essence of education is all about to your job in a way that I think illuminates our community. So you're all about health, you're all about wellness, you're all about making sure that each individual student gets the very, very best of what the community has to offer. So I don't think we could ask for any more than what you're giving us, and we really do appreciate that. So
yes, very much so.
And we hope to have you back on this show real soon.
That would be wonderful.
And give my good friend Lisa a big old Jacques hug. Okay?
I will, I promise.
All right, all right. So ladies and gentlemen, another wrap for another show. Man, this like tears me up, but we gotta go. We gotta go. But rest assured, we'll be back next week right here. So make sure you tell all your friends and neighbors that it's going on. And if it's happening in the city of Torrington or in the region, make sure you catch it on City Views. My name is Jacques Williams. On behalf of my co-hosts and our lovely and special guest tonight, we'll see you back next week right here on City Views.
It's about that time. City Views, City Views. What's happening in your city? City Views, City Views. City Views, City Views. Got love for your city? City Views, City Views. City Views, City Views. City Views, ah, City Views, City Views, City Views. City Views, ah, City Views, City Views, City Views, City Views. City Views, City Views, City Views, City Views. City Views, City Views, City